Miguel Almiron has been linked to leaving Newcastle United pretty much every transfer window for the last few seasons. But is it this January Newcastle are finally set to say goodbye? As reported by the Telegraph today, Newcastle are edging ever closer to letting go of selling the Paraguayan winger. Yes, guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video. Straight away, let me know your thoughts and comments down below on Miguel Almiron. Is it time to let him go, or should we hold on to him this season? I saw your comments on the last video, so I thought I'd make use of that unused light switch. And his shirt, there you go, on topic as well, as this shirt has just been put back in shops by Newcastle. I should probably have used the shirt to hide the hole as opposed to hang from it. But anyway, hope you guys are doing well. I will mention as well, I'm over on TikTok now. So if you guys use TikTok, be sure to go and check us out. I've been doing videos since the start of the year, and they're doing all right. So yeah, if you don't follow me on TikTok or even Instagram, go and check me out on there. But a big win for Newcastle last night. Well, I say big. I think we were the certain favourites going in against Bromley, and it was the youngsters who dragged us through that one. Big up to Lewis Miley and big up to Asula, both on the score sheet, both fantastic performances. And it was a few of the, well, I was going to say big name players, Bruno, Gordon, they all came on in the end, but there was some players who started that game who I think probably didn't take the chance that they should have. You can talk about Harvey Barnes. It's reported that he was injured, and that's why he went out for a half-time, so we'll let him off. But I think the likes of a Miggy, Kelly, I thought was disappointing. Longstaff, I thought was disappointing. I thought Target got a couple of assists. He wasn't asked to do too much defending, so he was okay. But yeah, Miguel Almiron, the man who, you know, against the League Two side yesterday didn't put up the greatest of performances, and literally the next morning is heavily linked to leaving. But I've saw people say this, and I totally agree. Last night was not the night to find out whether Miguel Almiron is set to stay at Newcastle or not. I think we've known this for some time now, and even if he'd gone and scored 3 goals, I think he still would have been linked out. But as I say, big up to Miley, big up to Asula, took the chance by the reins and went for it. I think there was no question on Lewis Miley that he just fit straight back in. You know, I've seen people comparing him to Tonali. You know, there's a big future for this kid, and the ease that he stepped back in our side was just fantastic. And Asula, I thought, was absent for a lot of the game, but you could see that he was committed. Like, you could see it in his eyes that it was his chance when he hasn't had a lot of football. And I'm hoping that Eddie Howe is going to kind of do a bit of a Lewis Hall with Asula. You don't see much of him for a season, and then all of a sudden he's in and he's doing great. Didn't see a lot of him. And when he picked the ball up on the right-hand side, I was literally like in the stand saying, don't pass it, just go for it. Because he didn't get loads of service. And I think, again, that's the likes of a Miggy and Barnes a little bit of blame. Had he been playing up front with Gordon all game, even Murphy all game, with Tonali in the side and Bruno from the start, I think he possibly would have had a lot more chances or saw a lot more of the ball. When he got his moment, I think he knew, I'm getting no football at the moment behind these. Like, I have to take this chance, and to see him smash it into the top corner was just fantastic. So well done to them too. On the other side of it, as I say, Dubravka, you know, he wasn't one of the young'uns, but he was getting a hell of a cheer from the fans. We want you to stay. It looks like Dubravka is set to stay at Newcastle, and I would argue that their goal was a bit soft, actually. I thought defensively we were poor, and I think Dubravka should have done better with it. But I'm not going to knock it, because it's 8 wins in a row, and that man has been in between the sticks for all of them. Why it's reported that Newcastle are going to improve his deal to make him stay is a little bit beyond me, actually, considering his contract doesn't end till the end of the season. So I appreciate that he was ready to go to Saudi this January, but we'll just tell him, sorry, Dubes, but you're staying till the end of the season. I don't really understand why the reports are that we're going to give him more money, unless it's because of the fact that behind the scenes he's made personal arrangements to move out there. He's got his kids, his family, and Newcastle are going, whoop, screw that, you're staying here. I mean, he may be like personally or relationship wise, it wouldn't be a great feel for Dubravka. If we've kind of like shoved him to the door, he's literally planned to change his whole life around, and we've gone, actually, no, you're not going anymore. Like, I think contractually we can do whatever we want. Maybe we're trying to give him a little bump up payday to kind of say sorry about mucking you around. But regardless, it looks like he's staying till the end of the season. Would I give him a new contract? Probably not for next season, but certainly let him ride out this season and see what happens next. I think that will be the way to do it. It's reported that we want to give him a new deal, which I think in the summer we need to sort out the goalkeeping situation, full stop. The fact that Vlaco Dimas didn't play last night just screams issues. Like, in what world did Eddie Howe still not have the faith? He's basically changed the whole team, but still refused to play an international Greek goalie against the League Two side. And that's just because, Dubravka's got that magic voodoo. He's got the magic touch. Keep him in. Whoever will play 8 in a row. Let's make it 9 on Wednesday night. But I think it's probably a bit soon for Wednesday. But will Miggy still be here by Wednesday? Reports from the Telegraph are that Newcastle are edging ever closer to finally saying goodbye to Miggy. And it's been a strange window because there's been a lot of talk on players leaving and not a lot of players coming in. In fairness, this is the whole Premier League. Like, it's a shame. It's hurting us. It's hurting us as Newcastle fans because we've got the money, we've got the owners, we can't spend it because of FFP. But I think it's hurting the thrill of the league. Like, I appreciate that football's football, but like transfer deadline days, like Sky Sports News, like it's a big thing in football now that the Premier League is shown to be this kind of like powerhouse, bringing all the players in. It's not happening. Like, Saudi Arabia is the one who's buying all the players now, and there's a potential that, like, Ronaldo's gone to Saudi, Salah might go to Saudi. All these players are going there. And I'm not saying that they're going to have a better footballing league, because it's just not going to happen. But look at boxing. All of the good boxing fights are in Saudi now. And I just think the Premier League need to fight back, and to fight back, they need to allow teams to spend, which isn't happening. But if Newcastle want to spend, we'll have to let players go, and it looks like Miguel Almiron is the one who's being heavily linked to leaving for a fee of around 12 million, or that's reportedly what Newcastle want. The trouble, once again, is that the teams linked to Miggy are European teams outside of the Premier League, the MLS, Brazil. There just isn't really the money there, and maybe that suggests more, because I would say, again, not biased at all with my black and white shirt hanging in the background there, I would say that Miggy is still all right. Like, I would say that Miggy is still Premier League quality. Does he want to go and... Is Miggy the type of player to battle it out in the Championship? Probably not. But I would still say that Miggy's a good enough player to sit in as like a squad player for a lot of Premier League sides. But it's fair that he hasn't played this season. Like, Eddie Howe has basically pushed him to one side. He wants Murphy in there. If you're not playing Murphy, it's probably Barnes. And I think partly Eddie Howe's done it on purpose in the hope that Miggy will kind of take the hint and move on. And because of that, you could say that Dubravka was worth bloody nothing. That's the thought. He was going to go to Saudi for no money just to get him off the books. If we sold Dubravka now, I'd want 5-10 million for him, because he's playing and he's in form and he's showing what he can do. But Miggy's done nothing all season. It's quite hard to demand a high transfer fee despite what he is capable of and what we have seen in the past. So the reports are that Newcastle are holding out for a higher fee but could consider going a little bit lower. And as much as I want to keep the squad bulked up, like, why let players go if we're not going to spend the money anyway? But when you've got the likes of Miley and Asula showing what they can do last night, and Miggy, if I'm honest, being pretty poor and probably looked like a player who knows he's on his way out. Like, he didn't see that like the two youngsters did, with big stars in their eyes going, oh my God, this is my chance to show Eddie Howe what I can do, which for me should have been the attitude of a lot of players. Like, I think Kelly was a bit of a letdown last night as well, and I'm not going to blame him because he's barely played. And he comes in, you expect him to be great. I would actually, against the League Two side, he looked a little bit Looked a little bit off the pace, so he didn't really grab his chance by it with two hands either. But Miggy certainly didn't. And I think that's probably what's prompted these reports today that he is kind of on his way out. So if we can get 10, 15 million for Miggy to kind of... And Eddie Howe said it himself as well, the domino effect. He needs one domino. He kind of spoke about it in like a league sense of like when one domino falls somewhere else, it'll help things happen elsewhere. You can't help but wonder if he meant at Newcastle as well. You know, had Dubravka had gone, was that the domino for Newcastle to go out and get a Trafford or somebody else? And I'm still not against bringing a new goalie in. I think we'll probably have to in the summer. But I think it would kick ourselves if we took the chance to let go of someone to bring someone in when it's working right now. And, come February, we could, give ourselves a kick in the backside because Dubravka's lost his form and we've lost our chance to move him on. But you can only do what's right at the time, and right at the time is keep Dubravka. Right at the time for Miggy, I think, is to let him go. And if we can, try and use that to push another player through the door inwards as well. So let me know your thoughts down below on the comments of Miggy looking ever closer to leaving the club. As I mentioned already, if you haven't checked us out on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere else, I'm trying to broaden my horizons a little bit with regard to content, so be sure to go and check me out on there as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy your night, and I'll catch you later.